With passage of the National Historic Preservation Act in 1966, Congress declared that the spirit and direction of our nation are founded upon and reflected in its historic heritage. This is a rich heritage, and the tangible remains of this heritage are manifested on the American scene with great diversity and variety. Some we immediately recognize and appreciate, while others lie hidden from view. Their discovery revealing just how interesting is the weave we call the American experience. One such discovery lies beneath this tree canopy in Bartow County, Georgia, the Dobbins mining landscape, where historic manganese mining occurred between 1867 and 1950. The raw material for America's early industrial might once lay within this massive excavated opening. Manganese, a mineral essential as an alloy for steel production, occurred naturally here on the eastern slope of Dobbins Mountain, and was one of the important minerals that created the rich mining legacy of North Georgia. What now resembles a tranquil sanctuary was once the center of a vast mining operation known as Dobbins Mine, the oldest and most productive manganese mine in Georgia. Manganese mining became extremely important after a process to make steel using manganese was discovered in 1860. Dobbins Mine was the most important manganese mine in Georgia, and the one that was first operated. The Dobbins Mine is one of the few mines in the United States that were producing manganese in 1867. Valued for its alloy qualities, manganese has never enjoyed the storied role in mining heritage of other more commonly known minerals. But its unique ability to strengthen steel and make it more workable made it a commodity in great demand for the instrumental use in arming America's World War I doughboys as they left for the killing fields in Europe, which required stronger steel helmets made possible by manganese. Following a lull in mining activity in the early 1900s, the Republic Iron and Steel Company leased Dobbins Mine in 1916 and renewed mining activity there. Dobbins Mine produced the most manganese ore shipped from Georgia to Birmingham for the use in its blast furnaces and steel mills. Over the following years, several businessmen helped make manganese mining the most important mining industry in the Cartersville area. One figure, however, stands out for his commitment to the future of mining and industrial growth in North Georgia: Arthur O. Granger. Under the leadership of Arthur O. Granger, the Etowah Company did a considerable amount of development work at the Dobbins Mine, extending one shaft to a total depth of 210 feet. It hauled the ore over the 4-mile railroad the company built in 1890 to connect the Dobbins Mine with the company's large manganese processing mill on the Etowah River. Prior to his involvement with the Dobbins Mine, Granger played a prominent role in the Civil War, participating in Sherman's Savannah campaign, better known as the March to the Sea. Leaving Atlanta, deep within the enemy territory, Sherman's March to the Sea redefined domestic warfare and helped break the will of the South to continue. Granger was first attached to General Sherman in Bartow County in 1864. That year, before the March to the Sea, Sherman's troops destroyed Cartersville's ironworks. After reaching Savannah, Granger became confidential clerk to General Sherman and was present at the surrender of General Johnston and his troops on April 18, 1865. Following the Civil War, Granger was a principal player in the resurgence of industry in Bartow County. 25 years after Sherman's troops destroyed the industrial features of Cartersville, Granger and his colleagues acquired those same mining lands. Today one can appreciate the enormous scope of mining activity in this location. In 1918, an observer noted that this cut was several hundred feet long, 100 feet wide in places, and almost 100 feet deep. Describing the extraction process, he noted the use of a steam shovel in the cut. Further, wooden side dump cars run by gravity on steel rails to both dump and bullpen a few hundred feet away. A steam hoist hauls the cars up the incline from the working put in the bottom of the cut. The extracted ore was then washed, with the residue going into a tailings pond, and the cleaned ore was then shipped for sale and use in iron and steel production. The tailings pond was formed from the residue of the manganese ore washing operation. This is the large dike at the eastern side of the tailings pond, which spans over 7 acres. The dike alone is over half an acre in size. Like any form of mining, extraction and production follows the supply. As one major vein was exhausted, operations shifted to other areas. In the west cut of Dobbins Mine, ore deposits had been depleted by 1943, and manganese mining stopped here. But remaining today as a powerful testament to this rich mining heritage, the west cut is intact and conveys the scope of earlier operation. Likewise are the cuts to the east and north. To satisfy growing demand on the eve of World War II, the South Cut was heavily mined, reaching a depth of 120 feet. The production demands of World War II created a voracious appetite for manganese, and its supply gained strategic importance in America's efforts to arm the Allied forces. Reflecting this importance, the National Bureau of Mines issued a report in 1942, highlighting the importance of Dobbins Mine, calling it the oldest manganese mine in Georgia, and one of the oldest mines in the United States still producing manganese ore. The Dobbins Mine is one of only a few mines in the United States that were producing manganese in 1867, the first year in which any systematic attempt was made to work American manganese ore. These are only a handful of the 52 historic mining features present across the 200-plus acre Dobbins mining landscape. This landscape has a high degree of integrity. Feeling is strongly conveyed across large areas by the sharp contrast between the natural beauty of Dobbins Mountain and the destructive processes of manganese prospecting and extraction. One of our nation's leading experts on historic mines, Dr. Donald Hardesty, once said of the Dobbins Mine, "Since the Dobbins mining landscape is a large, contiguous landscape of historic features related to manganese prospecting and extraction, the overall setting is intact and integrity is good. The Dobbins mining landscape captures the feel of early manganese prospecting and extraction. There are many locations within the Dobbins mining landscape where an observer with limited interpretive aids should be able to grasp how manganese was prospected and extracted. There are few distractions from the natural setting of Dobbins Mountain, and the expression of how it was utilized for manganese over a 75 to 80 year span.